Can you hear me now?
Jack-o'-lanterns.
Can you hear me now? Are you Android or Apple?
Android. Everybody knows that. I hate Apple. POS. Capital P, capital O, capital S. And that doesn't stand for point of sale.
What a great way to start our retail podcast.
Why? Why do you ask?
Because we asked everybody on socials.
Oh.
It was a good mix.
Yeah,
I figured it would be one or the other, and it seemed like it was a pretty good mix.
I feel like, you know, me and you both, for our age, we watched cell phones come to life, right?
Sure.
We had home phones. We had phones attached.
You did.
To
I'm
the
a little
wall.
bit younger than you.
Get out.
Oh, I'm echoing. Look at because I'm drinking my
You got your
Diet 7-Up.
And then did you have a pager when you were a kid? A pager?
I did not have a pager.
Beep, 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 beep.
People around me had pagers.
Yeah. I remember.
Wait, did I have a pager?
My sister got me one for my birthday one year.
I ate a Witch's Brew Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Which looks like it glows in the dark. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's green.
I bet it glows in a black light.
Do you think it does?
Yeah.
Witch's Brew. If you like white chocolate, I feel like you would like this. But I know you don't like white chocolate, but you tried it.
I tried it. It was okay.
Are you a Kit Kat fan?
I like Kit Kats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I only ate one half, so you get
But it's definitely white chocolate.
Did I give you the right side or the left side?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a Twix thing, isn't it?
Anyways.
What is the big deal about pumpkins?
Pumpkin.
I'm wondering,
Pumpkins.
I'm curious. I started doing some research, and I was wondering what the big deal was and if it's a big deal
how they came about
everywhere. But we live in Illinois, and we are the #1 grower and seller of pumpkins.
Really?
So now I'm wondering if our Arizona friends, our Texas friends, if they see pumpkins as much as we have them here,
Yeah.
or we're just used to seeing them.
Right.
So I wanted to do some research on that because
I know people have said that they've moved, over to European countries, and the one thing they missed from the U.S. was the fall decor.
Sure.
Like, they have Halloween there, but they don't do it like we do it in the U.S.
Okay.
So I don't know. Do they have pumpkins in other countries? I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I
feel like they probably eat them more than, like, we just carve them and put them out for decoration.
Let's ask Katie from Italy.
Oh,
Truly
good idea.
Italy. Yeah, let's ask her and see if they have them right now.
Yeah.
I think her and her husband are in Italy right now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, so let's
Oh,
ask
good.
her.
Yeah.
So it says Illinois, California, Ohio, and Pennsylvania are among the largest pumpkin producing states in the U.S. The top pumpkin producing state in the country is Illinois. We produce about 634 million pounds of pumpkins.
That's wild.
Probably even more because this is from 2022
Yeah.
on Google. You can just look at it, search for it, which is actually more than the next 5 largest producers combined.
Holy cow.
So that's why I'm wondering if we're just so used to seeing them and
I mean, we got
including them in our decor and eating them and carving them, but other places are like, no, we don't do that. So I'm going to ask online.
Yeah.
I'll be interested how it is by them.
we have those big farms that do like fall fests.
Yeah, we do.
And there's just like millions
There's
of
hay
pumpkins.
rides. You can buy bales of hay for decoration. You can do all the gourds, right? Which pumpkin is a gourd, right? But you can do all the different ones, squashes. It's just a
patty
very big
pans.
thing here in the Midwest. So, yeah, I was pretty interested in that. Indiana produced 161 million, California 122 million pounds. Michigan and Pennsylvania, they were about 90 million. I mean, we're 634 million pounds of pumpkin.
Sick.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I was going to ask you, what's like your favorite kind of pumpkin?
Probably. So, well, I like to get one to create a jack-o'-lantern, to carve a jack-o'-lantern.
Right.
But I think I like the pumpkin pies. Pumpkin pie pumpkins.
The pie pumpkins, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like the warty green ones.
I never buy those.
No? They're so creepy.
I knew it would be just the opposite.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I see them, I think, oh, that's so cute. I don't know why it makes me feel bad to buy something so ugly to decorate my house to throw it out. I feel like if I buy a pumpkin pie,
Yeah.
I will use it.
Yeah.
And then I'm being resourceful.
Right. Yeah.
But an ugly one is just for decoration, and then it melts into your concrete or onto
Yeah.
your mantle, and then you toss
Or
it.
somebody smashes it.
So definitely around
Yeah.
here.
I like the white ones too. The white pumpkins are cool.
Those are very cool. Do you
Yeah.
use them for anything else though besides decorations?
No. Not that I
Okay.
know of.
Okay, no
Yeah.
food. You can't turn them into
I don't
food.
know.
Or
I'm
maybe,
sure you could.
Now that we say that,
You
and
know,
our phones
because
are
it's
listening.
all squash, right?
Sure,
Or a gourd.
right. So you can cook it in the
So
oven.
I feel
or-
like, yeah,
Mhm.
you could, cut it in half, take out the seeds, put some butter and salt and pepper on it, and
you got a
roast it.
side dish.
Yeah.
Or sometimes when I use squash and I make a protein and a side, that's
Yeah.
all I eat because
Yeah.
it fills you up so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I like squash.
I actually learned how to make squash by my friend Jenny. She would
Ooh.
always post a picture of a Snapchat of her dinner. We kind of do
Yeah.
dinners back and forth.
Yeah.
And she would have it in the oven. I'm like, okay, how do you do that?
Yeah.
And it's so simple.
One of my favorite things growing up that my mom would make was acorn squash.
I don't think we ever had
No.
that. This
And
is all new to me.
You're not a meat eater, but what she would do is cut it in half and take out the seeds, and she would make a little sausage patty, raw sausage patty, and put it in the middle, and then put butter and brown sugar and salt and pepper on it and roast
Wow.
it in the oven. And it was like you said, if you make a side protein, like all you need is that squash.
Yeah.
And it is so good.
Oh, that sounds
Now I
delicious.
have to make that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make that
I'm
for Steve
making
for
that.
sure. It's like stuffed peppers, but stuffed squash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would like that a lot. Do you think you could use Italian sausage with it? Is that
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
We always did like a breakfast sausage.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing
And
too.
sometimes she would do like the maple breakfast
Oh,
sausage
wow.
because you got the brown
Oh,
sugar in
stop
there.
it. That's amazing.
But you don't have to do brown sugar. But I loved like the brown sugar would get like crystallized on it, and it was so
Oh
good.
my gosh.
It was almost like eating a dessert for dinner.
Yeah,
'cause it was
absolutely.
sweet. Yeah.
I mean, besides the
Yeah.
brown sugar, it's not
Yeah.
that unhealthy.
Do you
know?
do spaghetti squash?
I do.
Yeah.
I like spaghetti
I
squash.
like those too.
I think that
I-
was my first squash ever made.
Yeah.
Was I tried a spaghetti squash because I don't think you could do go
Right.
wrong. Yeah.
I didn't like it for a long time, but I like them now.
I feel like that's how I was with Brussels. Now I know that's different, but I feel like
Oh.
I tried and tried and tried to make
Yeah.
Brussels for a long time, and
Yeah.
it was like eating dirt. And then I finally
Yeah.
learned how to do it right.
Yeah.
That was the
I
same
do
with
high
squash.
temp. I
Yes.
made them. Let's see, what is today? Today's Tuesday. I made them Sunday, and my house still smells like
Oh,
farts.
I'm sure.
Because we got our air
They
on.
do have that strange smell. So strange.
Speaking of that, I was walking around Skokie today, and it smells like raw sewage over there.
Yeah, what happened? I saw
I
your
don't know.
Snapchat.
I don't know. I got out of the car and I was like, dang, that
Oh,
stinks. And then I went in the
no.
store and I was like, dang, it stinks in here too.
Oh no, that happened to one of the Wisconsin stores. I went to go use the bathroom and I was like,
Oh.
oh no, what is happening?
Yeah.
It just smelled like they didn't clean it up enough.
Ew.
But there was nothing, it was clean.
Yeah.
But it must have been a
I
backup
was like, it
of
smells
some
like
sort.
Brussels sprouts out here.
Yeah. It smells like my house out here. I leave my house to go to work, it all smells
Yeah.
the same. So pumpkins became a symbol of Halloween primarily due to whose tradition? Do you know?
Pagan?
Irish.
Oh.
I know.
I should know
Carving jack-o'-lanterns was their tradition. Originally in Ireland and Scotland, people carved faces into turnips and potatoes.
Ooh.
During the festival of Samhain, I think it's called.
Okay.
It's Samhain. I think it's called Samhain. It's a Celtic holiday marking the end of the harvest season and the start of winter.
Okay.
Um,
And could you imagine, real quick, carving a turnip or a potato, and as it sat, it would wrinkle up?
Yes, it
I
would
bet
look
that
like an
would
old
make
person,
really
right?
cool decorations.
I'm sure. We should try that. We should try that.
The chipmunks will just take off with them.
So Irish immigrants then brought this tradition to the U.S. in the 19th century. They found pumpkins to be more abundant, obviously,
Okay.
and easier to carve than turnips. So I
Oh.
would think so.
Yeah.
I feel like turnips can get big, but pumpkins can get really big. So I
Yeah.
almost feel like it's easier.
Yeah.
Over time, the pumpkins became the preferred medium for jack-o'-lanterns and was embraced as a symbol of Halloween. So embodying the spooky yet playful spirit of the holiday.
I like carving pumpkins.
Yeah. Speaking
I haven't
of,
done it in the last couple of years.
I just wrote a children's book
Get
that is a
out.
countdown to Halloween.
Another one.
I'll share it in the notes here.
Who says that? Another one.
Another one. That's a rapper, right? Another one.
I can't think of it.
So if you're listening to this on the day that we release this episode, the following week, you get to download my book for free for 5 days, Monday through Friday. So
Ooh.
you're saving yourself $3. Go do it. But then buy
Do
the
it.
real one. Someone else already
Do
bought
it.
it. It's kind of neat when you self-publish or publish a book and it goes on Amazon, it won't show any type of information until you sell a book and then it tells you the rank.
Oh.
So it's so neat to go on there and you have a rank, which means that
Yeah.
someone bought your book.
Yeah.
And then you see the rank either obviously go up or down.
Yeah.
But I'm very fortunate because there are 33 million plus books.
Yeah.
And mine usually hang in the 100,000s.
Yeah.
Sometimes they creep up to like 1,000 or 300. I had one hit number 5. My cousin had her book hit number 1. You know, I mean, that's incredible.
That is crazy.
So I'm hoping next week with the freebie and then people buying the paper book, that maybe I'll hit a top 10 or something.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. So
Go buy it.
yeah, I'm excited.
Go buy it.
All in this little head of mine. Pretty neat.
Everybody knows a kid, and Halloween is coming. You know what? Buy 40 of them and hand them out as trick-or-treat gifts.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Amazon and me,
See?
we thank you.
Yeah.
So approximately how many billion pounds of pumpkins now altogether are produced in the U.S. alone?
Hold on. You said Illinois alone has 600 million?
Yeah. But they're number 1, though.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, I know
and then you had California and Ohio
But they were,
and Pennsylvania.
Yep, they were
only
a lot
like
lower.
Hundreds of thousands.
Everybody put your guess in. So approximately how many billion pounds of pumpkins are produced in the U.S. alone, with the majority being sold in the weeks leading up to Halloween? Give me
I'm
a
going
guess.
to say 2 billion.
So close. 1.5. So close.
I'm so good at
You're
this.
You're so good at it. Like, I would have been so extreme. I'd been like 40 billion. You're always so close. You know what I mean? You're always within the range. I'm just out there. If you ever gave me these, I'd be like 40 billion, and then that's just Illinois. You'd be like, no,
you know
no.
what? It's all the Price is Right practice I've had.
It has to be. It has to be. You're so
$1.
good.
$1.
Jeez. Around 80% of the pumpkin supply is sold during the season. So
Yeah.
what would be the season? I mean, you know, it's strange that it says that because the season is now. And I feel like it's all based on when Starbucks brings out pumpkin.
Yes. It does. I have always said, you guys have heard me say it a million times, August equals autumn.
Yes,
It's the beginning
yes,
of
you
the
do
autumn
always say
season.
that.
So I believe next Friday is the first day of autumn. So end of August into obviously all of October. And then really you think all the way to Thanksgiving, right? Because we have fall decor, we have pumpkins, we have gourds, we have all that.
And then Thanksgiving, I pictured the cornucopia.
Right.
Which is kind of like the feast of the end of autumn.
Yes.
That's how I picture
Yes.
it, right? And I understand the whole Thanksgiving
Right.
story. We all learned
Right.
that in grade school.
Yeah.
But that's what I picture, and there's pumpkins in.
There's pumpkins.
Isn't that what it's called, the
Yeah,
cornucopia?
Cornucopia.
And squash.
We
and
all learned that from where? Fruit of the Loom.
We did, didn't we?
Even though they say they never had one on their logo.
Oh
we
my gosh.
remember.
What is that called again?
The Mandela effect.
Oh gosh. Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Here we go
Cass with her
again.
tinfoil hat.
So when you pick a pumpkin or any kind and you think to yourself, or can, you know, I do pure pumpkin sometimes.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked is I was TikToking, and there's an easy recipe of a can of pure pumpkin.
Uh-huh.
From Libby, probably,
Yeah,
right? Isn't that
yeah.
that's the only one I can think of?
Yeah.
And 1 box of spice vanilla cake mix.
Ooh.
You mix it up, and that's it. You make your muffins. You don't have to add eggs,
Stop.
milk, water, nothing.
Get out.
And I was like, 2 ingredients? So of
I
course I'm
can
going
do
to try that,
that.
and that's going to be breakfast for a few days. So then I looked up, you know, Food Network, and
Ooh.
I want to know what the trending
So
pumpkin
many
recipes are.
recipes.
We haven't done like a
Lay 'em on
recipe
me.
in a while.
I'm going to
so.
go home hungry, even though
And
I just ate dinner.
I haven't yet, so I'm going to be very hungry. A lot of people listen on their lunch. They're going to be like, thanks, gals.
Bessie was just like, this episode made me so hungry.
Yeah, she did.
I think was that cupcake.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, so many people listen. I'm sure they were trying to make their own cupcakes,
Yeah.
but go buy from her. Go buy from Caitlin. It just wouldn't be fall without pumpkin everything. So this has sweet treats to savory dishes. So we're gonna do a little bit of a
Oh.
mix. So this first one,
What is that? Bread pudding? What is that?
yeah, how
I
come
can
that's
only
not-
kinda
I think
see
that's
your
just
screen.
the picture of
Oh,
it.
okay.
Hold, please.
What is that?
We're gonna start
Snickerdoodles?
with cookies. I feel like a lot of people can do cookies except for me.
Why not?
I cannot. I'm a terrible baker. But pumpkin snickerdoodles.
Yeah, I see. I knew that was a snickerdoodle.
And I know that you are familiar. Don't you do
I
some
know
sort
my
of
cookies.
snickerdoodle?
Yeah, we usually do snickerdoodles.
What
for
makes
Christmas.
it the snickerdoodle? Is it cinnamon?
You know,
See, I
it's
don't
the
know.
only cookie that I've ever baked, and obviously I only bake at Christmas time, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the only cookie I've ever baked that has cream of tartar in it.
Oh, that's
And
what it is. Okay.
They do, you know, the
Yes.
cinnamon and then that cream of tartar. I feel like it does give it like a specific taste. Like it's kind of a
Does it stay in your mouth?
kind of. I don't want to say it's like tart. That's not the right taste. And it's not bitter, but it's just a very unique taste.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they said
What is cream of tartar? Go ahead.
Well, yeah, and as you're looking that up, in these pumpkin snickerdoodles, you can actually swap out ground cinnamon for the pumpkin pie spice.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Which makes sense. And then you roll it. You must roll it in the pumpkin pie spice, and then make the balls, and then they turn into,
because
right?
you usually roll it in cinnamon sugar,
and they're very fluffy and chewy. So take a look at that.
Cream of tartar is potassium bitartrate.
But what does it actually
It's
do
also known as cream of
science?
tartar, is a white powder with many culinary and commercial uses. It's a byproduct of winemaking. What? Get out of here.
Okay.
And the potassium acid salt of tartaric acid, a natural substance found in grapes and other tart fruits. So I guess maybe tart is the right thing for it.
Yeah.
In cooking, cream of tartar is a leavening and stabilizing agent. It can stabilize egg whites and whipped cream, prevent sugar syrups from crystallizing, and reduce vegetable discoloration while boiling. So I did know, I believe if you make meringue, you also use cream of tartar.
Keeps it fluffy,
Yes.
right? Those are neat.
Yes.
Those are neat to make.
So yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day,
Stabilizes the
especially on
tiny
this
bubbles.
episode or
Yeah.
this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, but I feel like the snickerdoodles use that, and they do it has a unique taste.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
You want to talk about this next one?
Yeah,
This
what
is
is
a
it?
savory one. Pumpkin lasagna rolls.
Okay. You know what?
What is your first thought there?
Okay, because I've seen pumpkin ravioli, and it always looks so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I could probably get behind this.
For someone that loves fall and autumn, I think it's
Yeah.
because my birthday is mid-October.
Yeah.
I have never tried
Me
pumpkin
neither.
ravioli,
I
pumpkin
haven't either.
spaghetti, pumpkin lasagna
When you
rolls.
when you said savory, I was like, I'm intrigued because like I've never even made pumpkin soup. Like I've
Yeah.
seen it a million times.
Yeah.
And I've never tried to make it. So
I always think about making it, and then I just make the tomato soup and grilled cheese.
Yeah,
Classic.
yeah.
Every time.
But you make soup?
I roast my
Yeah.
tomatoes,
See, I've
especially with the
never done
garden.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
I've never done
I
that.
just did the feta with basil from with the
TikTok
tomatoes. And we had our
Yeah.
little tortilla chips
Yeah.
and did that. That was neat.
A lot of people said like, "Oh my god, this was so hyped up," and I didn't like it, so I never tried it.
I did the chunks of feta instead of
Yeah.
like the big piece.
In the middle,
yeah, and so we just kind of ate it like
yeah,
I don't know, like a dip.
salsa.
Kind of, yeah,
Like
yeah. It
cheesy,
was
hot
good.
salsa.
Yeah, it was good.
Maybe that's not a good way.
No, that is that's
Cheesy
true.
hot salsa.
And then how about the classic? What I'll call them classic for autumn is the pumpkin cream cheese muffins.
I want to eat your screen right now.
So-
Those look so good.
So these look like there's some kind of like a cream in the middle, maybe like
Yeah.
a cheese filling. I should say
Yeah.
not cream. Sorry.
Yeah,
A decadent cream cheese filling and
Yeah.
sweet crumb topping.
I was gonna say the crumb topping. Yeah,
Yeah, and don't worry, we'll put foodnetwork.com and the pumpkins on here so you can
That's
see all the
something-
photos with us.
that's something I would try to eat in my car
Oh, absolutely.
and just make a total mess and have it all down my boobs.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
did we do with the ice cream?
I can't believe we've never talked about
Have
the
we
ice
not?
cream.
Have we
I don't
not?
think we did.
So
We talked about going and getting ice cream at the super cute shop. But that was all we talked about.
Yes.
We didn't talk about the ride home with
the
ice
struggle
cream.
was real. So first, Val's birthday, big birthday. We had a
Yeah.
great birthday. We did
Yeah.
the
pedal bike.
pedal
bar.
pedal bar. Yeah, that was
Pedal
fun.
bike bar, yeah.
Thank you. I couldn't pull the words out. I just had a
Out
good
of
time.
Kenosha. It was Kenosha pedal bikes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, they were great. It
Yeah.
was so fun.
It was
They
fun.
drop you off at the different bars. You get
Yeah.
a couple minutes to, have a drink, and then
Yeah.
you get back on and you pedal your way to the next.
Yeah.
So we had a great time.
We had
and
so
we
much
knew we
fun.
had to drive home. So it
Yes.
was a couple drinks, but not
Yeah.
really. But
yeah.
there
We-
was this
we settled down.
very busy and cute ice cream shop.
It was like one of the hottest days too. It was like 95 degrees.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so we stood in line with
We went
everybody
in.
else.
And I was like, I'm going to get a cone because I don't have to drive. And
Right.
you were like, I want that same exact cone.
Yeah, it was
And
the
I was
waffle
like,
cone.
are you sure? Like, you have to drive. Can you drive and eat an ice cream cone? And you're like, clearly you've never met me before. And I was like, oh, all right. Like, if I'm going to drive, I usually get a bowl, you know.
This is true. I was not thinking.
Yeah. But not only was it a waffle cone, but it was a waffle cone dipped in, I thought, marshmallow and chocolate. But it was white chocolate and chocolate.
And
it
dark
was
chocolate.
good. It
and
was
white
good.
chocolate again. It
Yeah.
was so thick.
It was so thick. And you would try to bite it, and it would just crumble. And I'm like, trying to not wreck your brand new car with this ice cream cone. And you're like, it's fine. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm sitting on chocolate right now. I'm going to get out, and it's going to look like I shit my pants. I got it on your seatbelt.
We were leaning forward.
Yeah.
Trying, and I just kept going whoop as we're driving on Highway C. I'm like, whoop, it's dripping, whoop, it's dripping. And then I think I was like on my face. It was down your shirt. It was on the seatbelt. I was like,
It was everywhere.
Then what did I do finally?
You were like, I'm done with this. And I was like, give it to me. And you're like, what are you going to, just give it to me. And I just chucked it out the window at the cows in the field. Your cows have some ice cream.
They thanked you. Don't nobody come after us for doing that.
You know what? I finished mine.
You did. And then maybe, so this was weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then maybe last week I'm vacuuming my car because I
Yes.
have the heated and the cooling seats.
Yes.
So when you drip something on your seats, it drips in there. Like it's in there. So finally, it must have finally dried. And I'm vacuuming. It's going, thump, 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 and it's getting all the ice cream out of the little holes. And I'm like, look, it's all clean now. And where didn't I find something? There was one more left. I was like, look, your ice cream.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Oh, it was like melted in
Oh,
the
but can I tell
holes.
you, I wish I would remember the name of it, but it was good.
That was good. Yeah.
And everybody around that area thinks the same because it was a
Yeah.
long line, lots
Yeah.
of people. From the start of Val's party, there were people
Yes.
outside
Yes.
sitting and going in. Then we were gone for a couple hours, came back. It was still
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
rush of people all day long.
Yeah,
neat,
that was
neat place.
delicious.
I'll try and remember it and we can put it in the notes.
Yeah.
So, yes. Oh my gosh, so funny.
What
so,
is that? Oh, pumpkin cheesecake.
Yeah. Again,
Okay.
something I've never done.
I'll tell you what. So we just celebrated my stepbrother's birthday, Labor Day, and my sister-in-law said, hey, you live next door to Katie Cheesecake.
Mhm.
He loves carrot cake. Does she have a carrot cake cheesecake? And I said, I will ask her, you know.
Mhm.
I was like, I'll order it, whatever. You can pay for it when you get here. So I'm thinking she's going to do like that pumpkin flavored cheesecake. I thought it was going to be carrot cake flavored cheesecake.
Oh.
No, it was a layer of carrot cake was the bottom and then cheesecake.
Oh, wow.
And then she put like walnuts and caramel drizzle on top. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, it's
That
never
was so
simple
good.
with her.
Do you know that, you get a birthday cake and there's always like a week later, you're like, oh shit, there's still slices. There was none left. None. We ate it all.
Wow.
We ate it all.
It looked amazing.
It was so good.
Yeah, she's not a simple, like when you think of cheesecake,
Yeah.
most of us may think of something very simple
Yeah.
with a little bit of whipped topping.
Whipped topping or some cherries.
Hers are
you know.
always layered with extras.
Yes.
There's at least 4 or 5
So
different things going on
good.
there. So amazing.
It was so good. Yeah.
Here's your pumpkin ravioli.
There's my pumpkin raviolis. Is it pumpkin filling?
Yes, it's with pumpkin puree.
Puree.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you're making the noodles, you could put pumpkin in the noodles.
Look
right?
how cute they're shaped. I just noticed that.
Oh my God, they're pumpkins. They got little stems and leaves on them.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just realized I didn't notice that
That is so
before.
cute.
That it's a pumpkin cookie cutter.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a good job on that. I mean, it's Food Network. We expect the highest
I mean,
quality.
we do, right? Nothing missed here on Food Network. Tossed in a nutty brown butter sage sauce. They are autumn in a bowl, it
yes.
says.
Yes. I've never made brown butter sage sauce, but it always looks delicious
I know.
when I see it.
I've never made any of this probably on this page,
Yeah,
but I
no.
always want to.
I've made snickerdoodles, but not that kind. Ooh, I want that.
Go ahead.
What is that?
You can talk about it.
Pumpkin Charlotte Royale.
That is really
So-
cool looking.
Is that ice cream in the middle? I can see they made
It's
a
mousse.
pumpkin roll.
Mm-hmm.
They made a pumpkin roll and they sliced it and like maybe put it in a bowl, right?
Mhm,
Laid it out in a
mhm.
bowl, then filled it with mousse. But what is the crust?
So it says this stunning dessert is perfect for the holiday season. Pumpkin adds richness to the Swiss roll cake, which is the circles, right? Or the swirls.
Yeah.
Creamy mousse center, while the warming flavors of pumpkin pie spice permeate. I can't say that word.
That's okay.
The cake. Mousse. And
Oh.
so it looks like the
The
rolls
s-
are on the bottom top
Oh, maybe,
too.
yeah. Or like they just made a flat, they didn't roll it. Have you ever made
Oh,
a Swiss roll
that I
cake?
have.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
you like bake it in like a cookie sheet
Yes.
almost, real thin. And then you put it in a tea towel rolled up, and then
Yep.
you unroll it, fill it, and then roll it back up and slice it. So maybe they just took a piece that they didn't, just a flat piece.
Oh, yes.
and then
put
boom,
that.
right on top, and then you
So
flip
they
it
layered
over.
the bowl, put the mousse in, let the
Yeah.
mousse set,
Yeah.
put the flat, and then flipped it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay,
That
okay.
looks delicious.
Pumpkin Charlotte Royale.
I'm pretty sure that my stepdaughter Steffi has made
Oh, sure.
those
I'm sure.
before the
She's
pumpkin
very good
rolls.
at that.
Yeah, she's a good baker.
I almost feel like my way of living, I would never make this to entertain. It's just way too fancy. This is for me, like when they say Royale, that's
yeah.
like the
Clearly,
queen's coming.
we don't have enough money for that. Ain't nothing royal.
So thanks for making me feel bad, Food Network.
Ooh, pumpkin seeds.
How about brown sugar, pumpkin
Yeah.
spice, pumpkin seeds? We do it every year. And I think maybe 1 or 2 out of 24 or 5 years, they were good. You knew I was going to say that, right? Why?
Well, you know what? I thought you were gonna say 1 year out of 25 years you actually ate them.
No, we
You
eat them
know?
every year and
Yeah.
it like gets up in our gums. They like split. Like it's like eating wood. And I've tried everything. I'm sure it's the pumpkins maybe we buy.
I don't
doubt
know.
it.
Yeah.
It is the way I do it. And
You know
every
what,
year
though?
Steve gets so excited. He's like, "Oh, you're going to do seeds?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're going to do seeds.
They're gonna be
And then
good this year.
I can just hear him like flossing his teeth and, "Oh, yeah, they're great." And all of a sudden you just see him in the garbage the next day.
Get rid of this shit.
terrible.
Keeps jamming me in the
I
gums.
know.
But look at how those seeds are. Do they have the skin on the outside?
No.
See, that's what
No.
the secret is.
You boil
know,
them?
Well, I don't know how you get them off the outside, but you know the pepitas
Yes.
are the green ones,
yes.
and that comes from a specific pumpkin. So I don't know. Let me see if they come out that way or if they gotta make them that way. Oh
okay.
my God! Look
Whoops,
at I'm
what'd
dropping.
you drop? You dropped
dropping-
your Kit Kat.
This
As
has
you're all
just been
wired
a
up. Yeah.
Very chaotic show so far. Let me see Pepita's whole.
Yeah, do they look
Pepitas.
like pumpkin seeds? Everybody
Whole.
look at that right now. Pepitas whole. Someone that works in
Images.
produce,
They might
probably
know.
like Shannon, she knows. She's probably like, "Come on, ladies, you should know this."
I don't know. This is. It only shows. Oh well. Look it. So I don't know. No, that says raw in-shell pumpkin seeds.
Yeah, okay.
All the pictures of the pepitas are green.
yeah,
You know what I
yep,
mean?
Yep.
So they might just come out of roasted and salted pumpkin seed kernels. See, but
Oh.
are they the pumpkin seed kernels?
Right,
Without the
right.
shell? So I don't know. You know, it's like sunflower seeds. You can buy sunflower seeds without the shell on them.
Yep.
I wonder if you could figure out a way to get that shell off the outside. You guys would probably enjoy them much more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. This is probably something that no, this is something that I've done. Pumpkin spice pudding pancakes.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I follow a guy on TikTok that cooks for a sorority house, and he just made pumpkin pie pancakes.
Like college, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And he does the kitchen. He cooks them all their meals in the sorority
my
house. Yeah,
gosh.
it's got to be a little fancy one, right? They got to cook.
Oh, Beverly Hills.
Yeah, something. And he was making pumpkin pancakes. Now, I don't know. I think he just used regular pancake mix, but he took pumpkin spice creamer. Like, you add milk, eggs, whatever to the
Yes.
pancake mix. He did pumpkin spice creamer in it, and they looked so good.
Oh, wow.
And he put a can of pumpkin in it.
yes, that's what we do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do that like once a year.
Yeah.
I'll use a Libby's again, I'm
Yeah.
sure. You want to hear something cute that I just thought of when you were
What?
talking about the creamer?
What?
We were with Johnny somewhere. Where were we? Oh, I think we were at the outdoor.
Oh.
And he was trying to pronounce Chobani,
Oh,
your creamer.
Lord.
He goes, she buys those big choo-choo-ahs. and You know what's funny is I knew what he was trying to say, but I let him keep trying just a few times because I'm that way. Usually I'm interrupting people and talking over them, as everyone knows. But I was like, oh, I'm going to let him try this. Let's try this.
Chobies.
It was like the chobas. Yeah, the choba, chubies. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I really didn't want to correct him.
You know, one year he called Jardiniere Jordache, and we've called it that ever since.
So we were just changing a password because Rosati's is celebrating many years, and you can get a pizza for like $3.50.
Oh, today only. Sorry, you're listening to this is gone.
It's gone. So yeah, and so we were gonna try and buy one, but obviously
they're busy.
Yeah, they were busy, and we really don't need a pizza on a Tuesday night. So we were changing the password, and Steve said, "Okay, here's the password." He's saying it out loud, and he keeps saying explanation mark, explanation mark, and I'm like looking at him, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, it's he would give me the word and then the numbers. He's like explanation mark. And I started crying, laughing. I go, Julia, you got to come down here and listen to your dad say this. And then, of course, he gets offended. He's like, I don't say my words right
now.
So then, of course, she comes down and I say what you were saying. He goes, explanation mark. And she's like trying to say it, but then she can't. You know how your brain like does it?
She was doing it too.
Yeah.
So I got another Johnny one.
Oh, gosh.
He said he was probably about 10 when he figured out that a tire has an inner, I-N-N, inner tube. He was calling it an immer, I-M-M-E-R. Oh. And then he goes, and when I realized that it was inner tube, it made a lot more sense.
Right. Like
inner tube, immer tube.
So I'm sure on this Food Network, there's lots of bread.
Yeah.
So pumpkin-shaped pumpkin bread, which is really cute. Again, Food Network, it looks like a cinnamon stick in the middle to make it look like a pumpkin.
The Royals are coming.
Lots of bread. Yes, they are.
Now, those look good.
These
whoopie
are
pies.
pumpkin spice latte whoopie pies with a little bit of like sprinkles on. So,
Delish.
I mean, that's way beyond me.
Delish.
Way beyond me. Maybe Bestie could do
bet
something
you could
like
do
that.
them. You could do them.
Another one that's way beyond me is the Mile High pumpkin pie. So that's a toasted marshmallow meringue over this pumpkin pie.
Come on.
Yeah, crazy.
I'm going to have to stop at Starbucks.
Obviously, the best pumpkin bread around, they say. Yeah. You put a little butter on it. I do make that. And with chocolate chips.
Ooh,
a
that's
vegan.
A vegan one. There
pumpkin
you go.
chocolate chip bread, which makes sense because you can use a can or a pumpkin for everything.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Now, we'll end on this one. Pumpkin cheesecake martini.
That's
so
my
I'm
style.
gonna send this off to Gina and Jerry.
Yeah.
And be like, hey.
Found
or maybe
your
even Kristen.
drink.
Yeah. Or maybe even Kristen and be like, so can we do like a pumpkin cheesecake martini?
We got your holiday drink here.
Yeah. So
the bartenders
fun.
will hate us. They'll be like, God, I fucking hate making these.
Oh, I'm sure.
So many ingredients.
So I was gonna say 14 ingredients.
And they're disgusting. These basic white bitches and their damn pumpkin.
So Steve had his poor Steve, I'm talking about him today. He had his phone open because he wanted me to rechange the password. The same thing. And so I'm looking through online and I'm trying to get to Rosati's and doing all this. And all of a sudden a receipt comes up. I wasn't looking at his phone. And a receipt comes up and it says like chocolate martini and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, bitch, I did not have a chocolate martini. Who you going out with? No, it was Julia. She tried a chocolate martini. I started to look at like the order. I'm like, oh, that was totally us last weekend.
Oh, I was there too. Look at, there's an old fashioned.
Yeah, exactly. That was the kicker. Absolutely.
That's so funny.
Oh, wait. No, I'm so sorry. We're going to end on curried pumpkin fritters.
Yeah.
Go to Food Network and look up all these recipes.
Yeah.
Phenom.
Yeah.
Gooey butter cake.
Come on.
It just keeps going. It is
There's
nonstop.
so many things.
Yeah.
I thought there was like 2 things you could make with pumpkin.
Oh
and
my
one
gosh.
was a latte.
Yeah. And there's savory, there's sweet, I'm just starved. Pumpkin lovers
Get
lasagna.
out. Well, they have the lasagna rolls. Now they got the whole lasagna. What's the difference?
We're going to have to ask everyone their favorite pumpkin recipe and what they do. I bet we're going to get a whole lot of ideas. We get a lot of ideas from our listeners.
Look at that one. Has cream
Amazing.
cheese in it.
Stuffed pumpkin bread. If you're bored with my neighbor came over as a thank you and made pumpkin bread for us last year. She gave us one. It was delicious.
Yeah.
And she had made it. And I usually don't eat from other people.
Well, you never know unless you see their kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've never seen her kitchen, but she is a very kind person.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed it. And I don't know what recipe it was. It was phenomenal. It was
You
not
gotta ask
stuffed.
her. Yeah.
But I may have to ask her, or I'll just ask her to make me one.
Pumpkin swirl cookies.
It's unbelievable. It just doesn't
Come
stop.
on.
Here you go. Here's
There's
the
the-
pumpkin hard cider cheese
Get
dip.
out.
Did you think it was going to be soup?
Yes.
Pumpkin hard cider cheese dip.
You know what? Because a lot of times when they make cheese with beer, like beer cheese,
Yes.
they use a real stout beer, and I
Yeah.
don't like that. I
Yeah.
bet this is delicious.
Yep.
With
Wow.
hard cider.
So much.
Why didn't I think to just put a different damn beer in it? Can you make me that cheese dip and put a Miller Lite in it instead, please? Instead of the Guinness or whatever you're using.
Oh, well, now that everyone's hungry yet again on this show,
Yay.
thanks for listening. Sorry you missed last week. We were incredibly busy
Yes, we were.
in Chicago
My back
working.
still hurts.
Yes.
Meredith made me work my ass off, and she didn't feed me all day.
So what? We did a shout out to Weber Grill. Downtown Magnificent
that
Mile,
was
I believe it was.
good.
Phenom.
Yeah.
Can we
Very
talk about
good.
what happened when we first walked in?
Oh my God.
We're gonna-
No, we
we
can't.
can't?
Well, yeah, okay.
All right.
So we were walking into Weber Grill
We had
right
a
on
6
State
o'clock
Street.
reservation.
Yeah. And this guy comes around the corner and he like
Oh.
right on the freaking sidewalk. And I was wearing flip-flops and I swear to God I curled my toes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought it was going to hit my feet.
Yes.
And he was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
Yeah, he
And
was.
we're like, "Nah." Had a buzz. I'm not going to say drunk. We weren't drunk, but we did have a drink before dinner. And so we found it to be no big deal.
no big deal.
No big deal. Well, then we find out the guy works there,
Yes.
which he came over, apologized again, offered to buy us a drink.
Yes.
You and our coworker were nice enough to be like, "No, that's fine." I was like, "You can buy me a drink.
Yep.
Yep.
I had to curl
Go
my
ahead.
toes for you.
Buy me a drink." And
He did.
And
He did feel very
Yeah,
bad.
he did.
I'm pretty sure he was hoping we wouldn't say anything, which working
Yeah.
retail, we weren't.
No. I was
And
going
it
to.
was just one of those things where he was
Yeah.
coming around the corner and so were we. You
Yeah.
know, so we
Yeah.
matched up.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a big deal.
I
Other
didn't
people might be
either.
like, "That's disgusting." Well, yeah, I mean, people do that.
And
It
I was like,
happens.
"Clearly you had something stuck in your throat.
Where
You were choking,
truly,
right?"
Yeah, truly.
And he's like, "Yes." And I was like, "Good boy."
Yes. And then what was the drink that you got?
A Paloma.
Oh, yes. Right,
Yeah.
right.
At the
So, it
hotel,
happens.
I had a new fashioned, and you didn't like it. You liked the old fashioned. I had a new fashioned, and it was freaking delicious.
That was the worst tasting new fashion that I have ever tried. And you sold it.
It
You
was
were like,
so good.
"This is delicious. This is the best one I've ever had. There's a smoky flavor." And you were looking it up and trying to figure it out. And I was like, "Yes, let me try it." I was like, and then our coworker, I was like, you know, she tried it. And she was like, "Oh, no, no, no."
It was so
And I thought, she's just being polite because this place is neat. No,
No.
we went back after dinner and you ordered another one. One wasn't enough.
It was so good. And you're like, "Why is it so smoky?" I'm like, "I don't know, but I like it." I'm like, I feel like I'm smoking and drinking at
You
the
know
same
what? Maybe
time.
that's why. And I am no longer a smoker. But for me, when I drank it, I felt like I was licking an old, what do they called?
An ashtray.
The ashtray. I couldn't even think what they were called. It's been so long. I feel like I ran my tongue over
Oh
the
my
bottom of an
God.
ashtray.
Oh,
that's
that's so
crazy.
funny.
I don't know. But we have different palates
Yeah.
because I like
Well,
the
what
old
did you
fashions.
Get? You got a pistachio cream.
Ale.
And I was
Phenomenal.
like-
and you were like,
I was like, "Let me taste that," because I know it doesn't taste like a damn pistachio. And what did I do? I was like, and then you're like, "What is the alcohol content?" I'm like, "It doesn't matter. We didn't eat today."
right? It could be 4. It doesn't matter. Oh, no, it was 11.
And you had another one of those.
I did.
And I was like,
We
disgusting.
have 2 very different tastes.
I will sit here and drink my smoky citrusy
Oh, my gosh.
drink. It had tequila and rum in it. That's yeah.
You know, so if it didn't have the super, super smoky, what
Yeah.
made the smoky? They called it
I'm
the,
not sure.
what did they call it? Oi? Or it was the name, right? Whatever the name was. What,
Oaxaca.
something like that. And that's what made it smoky.
Yeah.
Without that, I'm sure it was
Yeah.
delicious, but I could not get over the smoke of it. Although I've had old fashions smoky where they actually take the top off when they bring it
Right.
to your table,
Yeah.
and but it smells more like s'mores,
Yeah.
or
Oh,
a campfire.
Yeah, they called it how do you remember how to say it? Oaxaca.
Oh, yeah, I don't think
And
it's
it's a
like,
s-
because it's with an X, but
Yeah.
because we were trying to say Oaxaca or something,
Yeah.
or Oaxaca, and they were like, no, it's just Oaxaca.
Oaxaca, yeah, and it's a city in Mexico.
Yes.
So yeah, whatever that was, yeah, it was smoky.
I couldn't do it. I
Yeah,
couldn't
it
do
was-
it. So without the
was
Oaxaca or
delish.
however you pronounce it, I
Yeah.
probably would have liked it, but it was
Yeah.
just way too
Well, I
way
think
too smoky
you know
for
they
me.
said it was mezcal, and I
Oh.
was looking it up, and I thought I was wrong, but I think I'm right, but I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
I believe mezcal is smoked, or it ages in a smoked barrel,
Makes sense.
like whiskey.
Mhm.
It's tequila, but it ages like whiskey. But I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me.
And again, maybe if I wasn't hungry and it was an after drink, maybe
Yeah.
maybe I would like it. I just
Yeah.
maybe was too hungry for it. It just wasn't what I
Right.
what I was looking for. But yeah, you liked
Yeah.
it, which is awesome. So yeah, fun
Delish.
place. Go check them out. You got to make
Delish.
reservations though. It gets busy. Weber Grill,
Weber Grill,
downtown
Yep.
Ohio. I think it's on Ohio. Right?
Ohio and State.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yep.
Well, thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next
Spooky
week.
season.
Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by NameTag Productions, LLC. Entire podcast, unless otherwise stated, written by the hosts. Keyboards, written and performed by my daughter Julia. The Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. If we have to be all in this together, we might as well make it fun.